And Dominic.
And Dominic was just regaling me with the story, which I asked him to hold off on as to why he's tardy yet again. Tell
No,
us, Dom.
that's not what I was talking
Oh, it
about.
wasn't. I stopped you shortly. I didn't know. I assumed that was on me.
Tardy.
No, that was not, as I said, you are tardy, but continue.
There's like a buffer.
All right. Talk to me. What was going on? You said you had issues with the camera?
Yeah. So many times we tried to record and we either didn't or we were delayed because I had camera issues. The camera just wouldn't work. Well, on my laptop, you can buy those little things to cover the window, like a little sticker, a slider.
Cover the camera.
Cover the camera, a slider.
Yeah. It's like a window.
I didn't realize my computer came with a default one. So wait, watch. See, you see me?
Yeah.
Now you don't. You see me? Now you don't. Doc, you don't understand. IT gave me a new computer. They didn't even figure this out. They gave me a new laptop. They could not figure it out.
No way this guy's.
They had me. They do that thing where they take control of it and they look around. They could not figure out what the problem was.
They can't figure that out either. Don't get me wrong. They assume you're not that much of an idiot to not open the thing.
You would think they'd at least ask, hey sir.
It's like one of these situations.
Per chance.
Have you rebooted your computer? Like it's one of those like immediate dumb questions for people like you. That's amazing, by the way. That's some level of.
They literally sent me a new laptop, and then the issue started happening again. Issue started happening again, and then I just happened to realize this little switch.
I said the issue. There was never an issue. The issue
and
was you.
Dude, it's not as if it's like a button, like you have to, like a default in the settings. No, it's an actual sliding thing on the hardware, like on the plastic surface.
That's what I'm saying. It's some straight user error dynamics, i.e. your issue.
Yeah.
Speaking about user error stuff, we're going back old school. You see this new IG business where you can leave notes in your messenger? Are you serious? Are you open IG?
Yes.
Go to your messages.
Yeah.
Look at everybody's bubbles at the top.
Whoa.
Are you serious?
I did see something, and I was confused. Okay.
You didn't know this till today?
I saw something yesterday, and I was confused about and I didn't look.
So Monday, December 19th, you had no idea this was going on?
No. Well, here's the thing. Look. Can you see my screen? Look how many unread messages I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Let's say, and it's still more. I rarely check my messages. You know this from our chats, our group chats.
Yeah, but why?
So I don't go in. I don't know. And then I get overwhelmed when I have so many.
You do the same with emails and texts?
Oh, text. I'm horrible. Text and WhatsApp. It's bad.
So you're horrible at responding to text, WhatsApp, IG, and email?
Yeah.
So you're just horrible, is what you're trying to tell me. None of this is any of this stuff. It's not like with this one service I'm great at. Writing letters, is that your forte? Like, how do you prefer to communicate with us? Carrier pigeons? Like, what works for you, Dominic? I mean,
pick up the phone.
You're not looking at a watch either. You're not doing anything that would keep you connected.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you get all your stuff. But either way, that notes thing or whatever, the note thing in IG, I don't like. It's very BBM to me, right? Remember BBM? You said your little status situation. You could write whatever you wanted, right? And I put that in my IG, whatever. I put that there, and I go, "This is very BBM." And then 2 days later, I got to put another thing. And I was like, "Bruv." So it doesn't stay there like in perpetuity. I have to keep updating it after whatever, a couple days or whatever it may be. But I still don't get the point. Is the overall situation. Right? Like, I don't know why you need an additional thought within there. But again, I'm the outlier probably. But I don't,
Thanks to you, I just saw one that can help me with work.
What do you mean?
I may get a deal out of. I just saw a message somebody posted.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're trying to tell me
I'm writing right now.
You're trying to tell me if you checked any of these socials or responded to stuff, you'd probably be in a better position? Just in general, work, obviously.
Yep.
All right. Noted. We'll move on. You got stuff? You want me? I got some entertainment stuff.
Yeah.
Or you got some heavy stuff. How do you want to start? What part of the world is falling apart?
Heavy or light?
Dominic or Amit?
Wow. 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 All right. So you know who? You know the DJ Twitch? You saw that stuff yesterday or
Yeah.
a few days ago?
Yeah, yeah. It was yesterday. Either way.
So I actually didn't know he was the DJ from Ellen. That's not how I know him. I just happened to see him and his wife dancing on social
Was
media.
it? I think there was a previous DJ in Ellen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's been
And
many. You're
I
thinking the
didn't.
white actor.
No. I'm thinking another black DJ.
Oh yeah, there was another black DJ.
Yeah.
All right. So this guy, I just happened to see him, catch him actually during COVID, doing a lot of, you know, dances with his wife on social media. Evidently he was revered by many. Well, I didn't really know him, but either from Ellen or from social media, huge following. People loved him. He posted a few days ago, happy anniversary to his wife. And he shot himself a couple of days ago.
Yeah, he committed suicide from what I read. But hold up,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know who the dude is, so I'm one of them. I guess I don't know, minority, majority. I don't know, but I didn't know who he was. But and had they not said DJ from Ellen, I don't think. Well, I still don't know who he is, but at least I have a reference point now. But it does make sense that many of the people that I saw posting stuff, I assume would be Ellen watchers. But I don't know what was his claim to fame prior to that.
He had been a finalist on this, like, So You Think You Can Dance.
Wow,
Been in
definitely
background
know
some movies. It's one of those people. Evidently, his personality that you saw in glimpses, people really loved. Smiling, affectionate. I don't know. Just I guess him and his wife, the dynamic. They seemed kind of like the perfect couple, happy, engaging, loving, and he seemed
The same, yeah.
loving, and it's wild. It just shows you that you never know what people are going through internally, you know?
But this is why it's incumbent on us to not assume such things. You know what I'm saying? Like the happiness situation. Like I joke with my coworkers regularly, because he and I are in sales, right? You're in sales, right? So to some point, you're a chameleon, right? You're not. You will do or say things, not things that are completely outlandish, but that are a version of yourself, not necessarily your true self.
100%.
Right. And I mean, for better or worse, we all do this to some level, right? Whether or not you're in sales or otherwise, right? People in social circles, et cetera, people who, want to be liked, people who want, right? And salespeople are those people, obviously. And it sucks when you can see this level of things, and you see this a lot in entertainment, primarily because that's who people have the most. Like you only really see the two sides, not only, but generally people. If you see the two sides of these things in entertainment, like you don't really see it in regular society, if you will, because it's hard to see the disparity. You know what I'm saying? And I always see it in entertainment is because you hear about many entertainers who are depressed, on drugs, going to rehab and whatever. And I mean, we judge quickly, but there are all these different steps in there, right? This is I'm drawing his blank his name right now, dude from Friends.
Matt
Chandler. Not Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry. Yes, you're right. His book just came out about how he was literally drunk for the great majority of that show, drunk or high, right? And it's insane.
Because you think they're the luckiest people. They're making $1 million an episode. They're famous, rich. Like they have the perfect life.
Yeah.
How could they complain about anything?
Majority of us assume, dollars and happiness go hand in hand, right?
I mean, I've always said this: money doesn't equal happiness. I don't remember who I heard this from one time, but I think it's great. I said, but if used properly, money can be a damn good down payment on happiness.
I want to say I think that was like Chappelle or somebody, honestly.
If you do what you want, the money doesn't equate to happiness, but it can allow you things that whatever makes you happy, it can make that easier
But it's also agreed. But it's also in the same level where you look at people like this and you go, you've got the amazing wife or husband and the amazing kids and blah 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 and whatever else, and you go, I would kill for that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the aspiration.
Yeah, but that's a sad thing. Like evidently, I imagine, I could be assuming that I heard that she was shocked by this. If let's say that's true, right? She had no idea. Like you never know what people are going through internally. And the default mechanism is, or the default response is, it's such a selfish act because he's harmed his wife. He's harmed his kids. Think about the trauma that has to know that your dad abandoned you, killed himself, and is gone in your life. But for these people going through this is the easier and the healing path. Like whatever is bothering them is so painful that this, what we would call craziness, is the only option and the escape.
But it's the escape and the option that gives, in their mind, gives reprieve and freedom and a better future for the ones they leave behind. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not right. It's not viewed as quote unquote. And I'm trying to think if I know anybody who's been in the situation, and luckily I don't. I know individuals who have, you know, who've passed, you know, early, as we would say, but luckily I don't know anybody in these particular scenarios. But then I ask you, right?
No, but here's the crazy thing. You probably do. I probably do.
No, I obviously.
Here's the crazy. Here. No.
Sorry. I'm talking who've run the full cycle. Sorry.
Oh, no, I'm saying
struggling. We all that part for sure.
Yeah, but I'm saying, at the end of the day, literally, you could be having these extreme internal struggles. I wouldn't know. I could potentially be having these, and there's a chance you wouldn't know. Right?
So let me ask you the better question.
It's kind of wild. Is
internally with you and your wife and your kids. Well, forget your kids for now. For you and your wife, how much emotional truth do you think, percentage-wise, do you think either of you are sharing with each other? Because there are certain things you want to keep to yourself to save the other person from, I would assume, right? And you know, you're assuming you're doing something. It's like, look, I don't need to burden X, Y, and Z with this particular issue, or whatever it is, right? So you keep things to yourself, understandably. You may even talk to your friends versus your spouse, only because some things you don't want to burden certain people with, right? So percentage-wise, how much do you think how much truth? And I'm not referring to, you know, I'm referring to purely emotional truth. Sorry, you know, things of that nature.
You mean emotional struggle?
Yeah.
Because what's an emotional truth that?
Sorry, how much emotional struggles are you sharing? Sorry, yeah, maybe that's better phrasing.
So I don't have much emotional struggle, and I have revealed to her when I had a kind of extreme. No, see what I call extreme, and then this is extreme. There's a very huge difference.
No, but I think that's part of the issue. It's not right. Comparing it makes no sense. There's no value in comparing your issues to somebody else's issues. That's just foolish. Your issues are your issues, independent of how.
All right. So when I felt my extreme, I've had that, and then we actually had a talk last night. You know, she mentioned that, and after this, and
she just popped in to ruin this deep moment that we were having.
We actually talked about it as relates to Twitch and just making sure that. Yeah, I mean the incident. Like no matter what, we're both comfortable. If there's anything to just.
But I know that we can say that. That's very lovely and very. Hey, I will tell you everything that's going on, but I know full well I don't share the great majority of any of the struggles I go through. Period. Right? Which I know is garbage, by the way. Right? I even told you, like I had a therapist for a minute. Right? And that didn't last very long. It lasted like a good 6 months or so, maybe longer. And then I moved to Miami, and then I had to switch because of insurance and whatever, and I just stopped. But you know, I don't think that the great majority of us do that or do it to the percentage we should for whatever reason, whether it's self-esteem, whether it's fear of burdening others when they have their own issues, whether it's there's the other perception of if I put on a smile, then somebody else will smile as well, right? Like that's part of entertaining, right? I'm going to smile, you're going to smile, we're all going to be happy for that period of time, right? So why not? Why burden you? Why bring you down? And then you see that this is the a possible sad culmination.
Yeah, I mean, I always joke. It's kind of true in my house because I'm the clown, and the fool.
He means in
And I'm
society.
99.9% of the time just jovial and happy. And I feel like I've said it. If I'm not, that household goes down
Yeah.
because, naturally, the two kids and the wife, they all have their moments, and I look at myself as the glue to keep everybody afloat. But shit, I have my moments too, you know.
We
And
all
sometimes I intentionally withhold those because I don't think the house can handle.
All right, but is that putting too much value in who you are, or is that putting
I
less
no, I
value on
don't think. You
them?
see, the way I'm articulating it sounds
Mhm.
so. I don't think it's putting too much value. I think it's probably just not wise.
Well, hold up. I think we can say definitively it is not wise. I
Yeah.
think what I'm telling you, the things that I do, definitely not wise. But what can but so then but we both know it's not wise, and we're not changing it. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the thing too. We know, hey, we should be better about X, Y, and Z, but we don't. Right? We make small changes. Like we may make a change in the very immediate. Like people always make major changes. Take that back. People always claim to make major changes or strive, better term, to make major changes or changes in general when something significant happens. And normally that significance is based on something sad. And then it lasts for however long. And then we go back to our regular schedule programming, right? And things like this, I see now is becoming more and more, we can talk about it more than we once could.
True, but I think we have a long way to go. I
Oh
mean,
my
do you
God,
realize 47,000 people committed suicide last year in the U.S.? Take a guess how many were male versus female, whether you want to do percentage or numbers. Probably percentage easier for you to just. Of those 47,000, what percent were male?
I got nothing.
Take a guess.
80.
You nailed it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, because
80%. Because I think it's twofold. Just naturally, the masculine persona of trying to be tough and withhold things and not seem weak, right? Not admit what you're going through, not seeking help. And then there's still that, I don't know if it's societal pressure or masculine self-imposed pressure of being successful, of taking care of the family, things of that nature, and then the burden, so to say, sometimes self-imposed burden.
I think the majority of the time it's self-imposed, but I don't think we do that because of, we learn by experience generally, right? Like my situation was my dad, actually both my parents worked, but it was technically my dad's job, if you will. Like my dad owned the store or whatever, and whatever's going on in the store was his issue and so on and so forth. And only until later on in life when he was legit struggling financially did he even reach out to me for assistance. And it was, and I'm chuckling now because it was the I'll say this. It was so difficult for him to ask me for help. So difficult.
Right.
Right? Like it was probably like the shortest conversation ever. Like, it was like two sentences and you could feel like tears are welling up as he's asking me for help. Right. And then I was like, we're good. I got you. Don't worry about it. Whatever. He's like, okay, I gotta go. Right. Like it was that quick a conversation because he had to break character. You know what I'm saying? And I've just said that, hey, I don't have any of these conversations. So I'm saying that I'm doing the utmost incorrect thing. And I have no idea how to change that. Easy to say I can go to whatever, just talk more, whatever. I don't know how to do that.
Here's an easy way to check it to not help us, but help others indirectly. One, be nice to people. Right? And that doesn't mean, hey, people were mean to Twitch, so this is what happened. But you never know what people are going through, and that can certainly increase odds of just helping people cope. Be nice, right?
Who had said this recently? Somebody had said this. Actually, just that. I was watching. There was a film I was watching, and I'm gonna butcher it. I actually watched it 2 days ago. The Banshee of Irishiden or something like that. I'm gonna butcher it out. This is the new Colin Farrell film, and it's written and directed by the same guy who did In Bruges, which is a movie I love, and that was literally the overarching story arc of the film. Was just the whole idea was, without giving a spoiler, one character wants to be remembered, meaning if he passes on, right? This is taking place during World War II, right? So if he passes on, he wants somebody to remember him, right? He's got no kids, no wife, whatever. So he wants to be remembered. And the only way he can feel that he'll be remembered is if he creates music, because music will carry through time, i.e. Beethoven, Mozart, etc. But if he just hangs out and talks with his friend all the time, right, and does what we're doing in essence, nobody's going to remember him. And he would have, in essence, wasted his life, right? That's the way he viewed it. And his friend was like, I don't care, because we used to be nice. And my sister is nice. And I will remember her if she passes. She's going to remember me if I pass. And if I'm not remembered 50 years down the line, okay, or whatever. But I don't want to be that guy. I want to be a nice person, right? And it's such a weird, subtle, simple dynamic. It didn't even hit me until you said so now. But it's probably the most simple, subtle thing that we could aspire to that we don't.
Simple. So simple. The amount of random, stupid conversations, often involving minutia, I have with people on a daily basis. Just freaking, I mean, you got.
But I think those are awesome. Like,
some cashier just sitting there, just not down. Hey, what's going on? Hey, look at this guy. Hey, look at that.
But I think those are so amazing. Like, I think there's so much value as opposed to that character and having just general small talk, because, and hopefully with somebody you don't know, right? To your point, you have it with just some random person, right? Because you're not trying to be anything more aggressive. You're just trying to have a chat with somebody, right? You're trying to have a conversation. I'm not trying to get into your personal situation, just saying what's up, all's well, moving on, whatever. And they say thank you, leave with a smile, everybody's good. Like, it kind of boosts your day. You know what I'm saying? These are like the dumb little things, but all that said, that goes back to the situation. If we still hold stuff in, then we're just putting on a mask. We may have helped somebody else, but we have to crap for ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a certain level of selfishness. This is the one part that men specifically try to be quote unquote selfless, which you're not, because you're actually doing yourself a disservice. Right? They assume they're being selfless by not sharing stuff, but they're being, they're just doing, they're literally doing the opposite.
How much would your struggles increase potentially exponentially if you didn't exercise religiously? I'm serious.
It's funny. I had this chat with somebody recently as well. So I need to do the gym on a daily basis. It's borderline. Some would call it a sickness. Some would call it whatever. Like, I need it because I feel just like trash if I don't. Right?
You're talking physically or both physically and mentally?
Mentally, just everything. I just feel like trash. I feel run down. I feel slower. I feel lethargic. I feel like Dominic looks. I feel heavy. I feel like I'm losing hair. Everything is wrong. No, but I don't feel like I am a version. I don't feel like I am a positive version of myself, right? Which another reason I do it in the morning. Well, two reasons. If I do it in the morning, I make sure it happens. Also, if I do it in the morning, I have the greater chance of being in a better headspace for the rest of the day.
No, but right? But then you also get when the endorphins kick in scientifically during the day also.
Yeah, but also the other benefit for me is one reason. So I don't have an Apple Watch. I tried it for a little bit, didn't work for me. I don't like when I'm fitnessing, I'm not doing anything. Meaning my phone isn't on me. It's in my bag. For that hour and however long I'm in there, I'm not communicating with people. I'm not taking pictures, not filming myself fitnessing. I'm not doing anything. I don't like that. The world does not exist. For this period of time, I'm here to joke with people about the dumbest things in the world, compete with people in the fitnessing game, do my own stuff afterwards, and just have the most, simple-minded conversations that bring me joy.
Well, oh crap, plane.
Now you're good.
Flying over. Now that my knee doesn't allow me to play football, but in this, we joke about it. Being the old man in this competitive league.
You could have just said old man.
Yeah, it's former NFL players, college players, and everything. And I started pseudo CrossFit to be able to try and stay in shape to play in this. But my point is, for playing this league for the last 10, 11 years, I looked at it as my therapy. I always joked it was my therapy. When I practice playing the games, like, because my mind, anything in life, good or bad, was gone from my brain during that time, those couple hours. It's just, it's as if nothing else on earth existed. Family, friends, stress, joy, work, pleasure, pain, nothing. It was all wiped away. Like Men in Black with it, bzz, like it was just gone. You know?
No, it's true. It's like the true reprieve, right? The true situation of, hey, I'm not thinking about anything right now. Like legit not thinking about anything right now. And it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing for me. But then, like, so for example, people meditate, right? I was talking to somebody.
I was reading about that. Yeah, a lot of suggestions.
Right? But okay, so I thought I've done like the apps and the whatevers, and like, oh, clear your mind of this, that, whatever. First of all, can't clear my mind. If you tell me to clear my mind, I damn sure can't clear my mind.
Somebody said it's a good way to look at your issues instead of experiencing your issues.
So that's how it works. Guy said.
Is how it works for them. Like when they pause, it separates, and you can identify them. And
have you tried any of the apps?
No, I've never meditated.
So I tried it, right? I'll say I'm probably the guy who's tried a lot of different things related to physical and mental fitness, awareness, whatever you want to call it, right? Just for whatever, right? For whatever reason, trying to get better, trying to deal with stuff my own, just trying to be a better version of myself. And the meditation part, I've tried multiple apps. I've gone to various meditation sessions. I've done all that stuff overall. And it is the hardest thing for me to do because one, I can't sit still. If anybody watching, you see I move all the time. I'm a fidgety person. I can't sit still. Two, I don't know how to turn off my mind. Although they say you don't have to turn off your mind, you're supposed to just kind of talk. And I'm not talk. You're supposed to just kind of, look within, just as Dominic was just saying. And I don't know how to turn off my mind. And so I just don't, right? And the last time I did something, I think I did it with our friend Sasha, and we did some sound healing thing, like on the water, and it was gorgeous and it was dope as hell. And you're supposed to like listen to the sound healing and lay on the floor and do whatever else. And I straight fell asleep and started snoring, like legit snoring, because I had no idea, right? But I'm not good at it, right? And I don't know how to get good at it without practicing it, except I don't practice it. So I'm kind of caught between a rock and a hard place.
I mean, when I used to do like Ramwad and stretching and those things, it gives you kind of time to yourself. So I do thinking and purposely. But then you know what I started doing? Grabbing my phone, watching Netflix or something, where you're supposed to just do breathing for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
It's
that that's exactly what we end up doing. Well, because again, we're how many screens are you looking at? Like legitimately. You got your laptop, you got your phone, do you have an iPad or whatever in front of you?
Yeah. I'm trying to enter a Travis Scott draw. Try to buy these sneakers and flip them, make $1,000.
So again, you've got 3 screens going. And trying to do a podcast, 2 screens and trying to do a podcast at the same time. I've got my laptop, my phone, my monitor, which has 12 screens in my monitor. Right. So we're used to just being overly stimulated by these things, and to turn them off is difficult. But
real quick, funeral attire.
Wow, we're just sticking with the macabre topic. All right, let's go. So Dominic and I had to go to Dominic and I went to a it wasn't the wake. What was that? That was a viewing. Viewing. For a good friend this past week, and because Dominic and I are Dominic and I, we had multiple chats prior to about what we're going to wear to this thing. I don't think anybody else was concerned about what they're going to wear to this thing, but he and I were. Because I was like, bro, what do you wear? Because I don't own, you watch movies and people wear black suits. I don't own a black suit. I don't own black shoes that are pseudo funeral appropriate, right? Like I got black Vans, you know what I'm saying? And some black sneakers, but nothing that I would assume would be appropriate for a funeral setting or a macabre setting that is that. So I don't know how to handle that.
Yeah, and I mentioned to you that I'm kind of in the mind frame of not dressing up so much black suit for funerals. I've been to 2 funerals earlier this year, and one I wore black jacket, gray pants, and a white button up. And then one after that, I wore gray pants, black jacket, and a black T-shirt. To which my wife was like, "You're wearing a T-shirt?" And I was planning to wear to the viewing just like a polo and some pants, some Jordans. And then I got a little flack in our chat, so I wore that same T-shirt vibe.
You were gonna wear, but actual pants, or you're gonna wear like polo and jeans?
No,
like,
no,
you're gonna kind of just show
no,
up.
no, actual like beige khaki pants.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So
okay, funeral.
What's consensus? Yeah.
I'm gonna get a stare at me. When I die, I would hope everybody just wear whatever. Yeah, she just looked right at me and just stared at me like, what the hell? Everybody just wear what they want to make them comfortable.
I think that's our new generation on it. I don't think it's just you.
Did you hear that?
She said that just she thought about that
after it's not just him. No, you can leave that. You leave the mic on.
When we went to that one,
I wouldn't want people all dressed up either.
You literally said, "Why you you're wearing a T-shirt?"
To where?
To Megan's stepdad. You literally said that. You looked at me.
Because they're an older generation.
Yes.
It wasn't
Yeah.
someone younger who died.
All right, so your wife's up the belief that if the person who passed is older, then you should wear the apparel that suits that person's generation versus if somebody younger would pass. Is that what she's saying?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The other part of it, I haven't really thought about apparel as it relates to this until this year, actually. When my cousin reached out because there was a death in the family, and we were trying to find levity in the fact that he and I wore the same suit that he wore to this wedding. I wore my black suit. He wore the same black suit he wore to this thing. I said wedding, funeral, sorry. And to a previous funeral a couple years ago, and said then at that time, yo, these suits don't work. These suits are old as hell. Like, it looks like we've given zero thought into anything because these suits need to be thrown away. He didn't throw his away. I threw mine away, but I threw mine away because I moved. And he wore the suit to this other one. And he said he damn near ripped the whole bottom of the pants out too, because it was just something that it didn't fit anymore at all. And it was baggy at the top and tight. Nothing worked. And he was like, look, we're both in our mid 40s, right? Kind of creeping into the next generation of the next half of the life. We're probably going to be going to more of these than we hoped to go to. So we need to have a black suit, right? Because these things are not going to be, sadly, they're not going to be one-offs. And Dominic's viewpoint is, nah, hell no.
No, I'm changing. I want people to change for me. I want it to be less somber, more joyous. I think that's the way it should be. I was kind of enlightened by, I told you the one I went to wound up being a roast for a fireman.
Which I thought was amazing. Really extreme, but I thought amazing.
And then my brother-in-law, one of his best friends, died, and his entire family, his entire crew, his entire friends, family, everybody were insistent it's a celebration of life. And they had this big event in Brooklyn we went to. Hold on, as a plane.
Just keep going. Honestly, it's not that bad.
And it was nothing but just one big party and celebrating life. And you look at even New Orleans, like the jazz funerals there, they start off somber. But then after the burial, what are they doing? They're dancing in the streets with the bands and celebrating life. You look at dress-wise, you look at here in South Florida, black community, nobody's rocking suits and stuff. What do you see people doing? T-shirts with people with the dead person on the T-shirts, right? They're going casual. You never seen that?
Nah, bro.
Oh, I've been to one.
I've never been to one of these things.
I'm
also Indian, bro. Nah, man.
You have no idea what I'm talking about, though? You've literally never seen that down here?
Yeah, nah.
So, on a different note, Pembroke Pines, Florida, Franklin Academy. Muslim kids were praying. A teacher walks in and says, "What are you doing? Stop all this magic." They were praying to Allah. "I believe in Jesus," and stepped on their hands and kicked them out. She got fired.
She's also okay.
So yeah. I don't know. So Jesus is not magic, but Allah is magic.
All right, let's I guess wrap up this
real quick.
this version.
Christie, Governor Christie. What's his first name? Christie. You see his wife, his niece, was on a flight. Spirit kicked off.
Spirit Airlines.
Spirit.
Yeah. No, I'm saying that adds to it because continue the story. That is part that matters.
Disparaging anyone who flies on Spirit.
No, disparaging her, and here's why. Keep going.
And she started throwing out racial insults at people. And when officers came to remove her, she kicked one in the balls. She bit them. They said she was remarkably strong. And
his wife started turning on the TV or something. And now he's talking to her about why she's turning the TV outside or whatever she's doing.
And they said they remarkably strong. And she started saying, "Do you know who I am? I mean, you're Christie's niece.
Yes,
what is that? And I know Donald Trump."
Yes, that's the part. If you say I'm Christie's niece and I know Donald Trump and all these things, and you're flying Spirit Airlines, you're probably not that important to either one of these two people. Just throwing that out there. Right?
Named Shannon Epstein.
Yeah, I don't care what kind of cost you're trying to save. It's not the game, right? And I say that knowing full well that my boy Los just flew Spirit to New Jersey for Thanksgiving, and he said it was totally worth the cost. And I was like, that is not the point. We're not doing this anymore. I've been flying Spirit since college, and that's not Spirit is what it is. You know what you're paying for. I totally get that. And if you want to say, hey, I'm going for the 2-hour flight to whatever, there's no reason for me to spend $100 versus spending $30. I get it. But if you were watching your dollars in that way, you damn sure ain't that close to Donald Trump / Chris Christie. Plain and simple, right? That's just fact. And also, it's coming from New Jersey, right? And she was accusing the racial slur. She was accusing them of drug smuggling. If she was accusing her Latino passengers as well. But I don't know what triggered it. I don't know. I'm assuming it happened before they even took off from Newark, wherever they were. So I don't even know what could have triggered this. Like, you just walk down the aisle and see a blonde person and just yell, "Are you carrying drugs?" Like, I don't even know how one would get to this point of view. And as much as we're chuckling about this could be a whole different situation about whatever she's got going in her life or whatever. But independent of that, because I'm sympathetic to some point. But if you're going to go out and lash out at people like that, then I tone down my sympathy level for you. But I don't understand.
You know what she should do? Be better. Justice over order. Eat well.
Yeah. And Dominic could be in a place that doesn't have a dog, a wife, a TV, an airplane, and God knows what else going on in the background. For those of you who struggled through this with us, thank you. For those of you who, I know this wasn't our standard general topics of conversation, but
I mean, I'd say if you're struggling internally,
have a chat, man. Have a chat with somebody.
Talk
do what you got to do for you.
Do what you do for you. Look into exercise too. Look into meditation. Look into walks. If you live near a coastline on the beach or lakes. I don't know.
Do not discount what you're going through, and do not try to do it alone, because it is difficult / impossible. I say that as somebody who I assume is giving decent advice, not listening to it. So I need to do that myself. So throwing that out there. With that, we say goodbye. We'll chat soon. Take it easy, y'all.